Welcome.
Welcome, I'm Lily.
I'm Megan. Welcome to the Tough Luck Podcast.
Yay.
Nice to see you, Lil.
Nice to see you again. Out on this beautiful sunny day.
Oh, I know, it's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot out here. It feels so good. It's so warm and toasty.
It's like summer is
Summertime.
here. It's upon us. And the bees are out, and it's just beautiful.
Literally.
I'm so
Birds
thrilled.
are out. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, this is a beautiful day. I've been thinking a lot about having help from others and reflecting on that in a sense. So just having that fluid conversation with you, Lily, about just, accepting help when oftentimes we feel like we're being a burden.
Yeah.
And I have those moments myself. It's basically it's interesting because I feel like our society in particular wants us to do everything on our own and wants us to, start up that family, everything, and then once you have, you're established, it's like, okay, like, you're individually responsible for your own section of the world, and we don't collaborate as much.
Right.
So I'm curious on your thoughts on that. Do you feel that pressure from society to just handle things alone?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I feel like it has to do, I feel like there's a lot of reasons why I don't like asking people for help.
Sure.
And I feel like we could blame it on, some of my chart positions. I feel like a lot of things in my astrological chart are, just, make me want to be, hyper independent. I feel like just, growing up, my parents, wanted me to be really independent and, didn't really enjoy helping me out and stuff, and made me feel like a burden when I asked. And I feel like that's another reason. I feel like society, childhood trauma can all make us feel really that need to do things on our own and stuff. And I've always had trouble asking people for help all the time, and it feels weird. It feels like it's just and even I've noticed when I do ask people for help, I always add an apology in there, I'm sorry, can you please help me with this, I don't want to do this on my own, and it's just so weird that we have to feel apologetic for asking people for help, when I feel like once upon a time we were so much more inclined towards community and just being there for each other, and and even looking at this beautiful neighborhood we're in, all these houses are so far apart from each other, and everybody has their own set of property and stuff, and nobody wants each other on each other's property really, and I feel like we're all just kind of found our little separate corners in the world away from everybody, and when in reality community is really powerful, and there's so much more I think that we can achieve when we're helping each other and being helped,
Yeah, I can think about a lot of times where, we first moved in. I have a funny story. We had to have help because we locked ourselves out of our house the first night we were ever here. We had unpacked everything, and Kent and I wanted to use the hot tub, and we were just in the hot tub, and we wanted to essentially this is it's so embarrassing now thinking about it, but we left the keys inside, and we had nothing to get in, and so we were in our bikinis. I think we only had one towel between the two of us, so he gave me the towel, and we went over to across the street to one of our neighbors' houses, and she was so lovely. And she was like, I'm a nurse, it's nice to meet you, and we got to talk a little bit, and before you know it, my dad showed up and helped. He basically just said, we'll handle this in the morning, just spend the night here. But yeah, it forced us because we didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Our phone was inside. So we didn't have a way to contact anybody. So we had to
Wow.
use her phone.
Wow. Yeah.
So it just brought me back in time a little bit to a time where phones weren't really a thing. And
Yeah.
when we didn't have a cell phone to just call up anybody we wanted to, we had to rely on a neighbor or a friend or someone else to, can I borrow your phone? It's
Right.
it's a completely different time. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like times like that where it brings into reality, we really do need each other
Absolutely.
in the end.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful experience. It actually ended up being a beautiful experience, and often one that forced us to talk to our neighbor that
Right.
we hadn't ever met before.
Yeah. And who you may have never met if you
Yeah.
didn't need that like opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember when I was like moving into my apartment, like so many people were being so kind to me and saying like, "Hey, like let me know if you need help. Let me," and just like reaching out, like letting me, like they'd be like, "Well, you can use my car," all kinds of stuff.
Aww.
And that's when I had my little car at that time, you know.
Aw.
And
This little car.
this little
Aw.
car. Don't have her anymore, but that's okay.
R.I.P.
And I needed help in that situation too, where I totaled my car and I had to ask my dad for help and all these things. But when I was moving, I remember like I was like, you know what, I can just do it all on my own. You know, like my dad helped me, of course, but I was like, I can do it all on my own. And then the next day, like me and my dad are super sore because we moved all my stuff all by ourselves. When really, like, if we had just asked some people for help, we could have A, got it done faster, B, not have been so tired in the morning the next day. All kinds of reasons.
I would have shown up.
I know.
I would have been there.
You did try. She did try and help me.
I tried.
And
I don't even remember, actually.
You did try and help me, but
Oh.
I don't know. I just don't think it. I don't remember.
You
how
were
that
all
went.
done by that point, I think.
Yeah.
I forget now.
I know you tried to help. She was one of the people with a big car who was trying to help me, and yeah. I was just like trying to be strong and independent, and especially like as women, I feel like trying to prove being like strong and independent is such a big thing for me, at least. But I know not all women. You know, I know not all women need that to have this like big independent mind frame. But I feel like especially in like the society that we've created, like proving yourself as a woman is like such a big thing, or has become such a big thing, and like having a career and just like taking on all these tasks when really like women used to like help each other out all the time, you know. And I feel like that's something that's like that's like this really, I feel like honestly like this like fear that like not like to ask for help comes from like a masculine energy. Like women used to always be helping each other all the time. You know, women always came in as community, and then men would go off and, you know, do their manly duties or whatever. But now like I feel like all these manly duties are also being pushed on us too, and I'm like there's that's I feel like it's such a gray area, like with this like male duties and female duties, you know, like, but it is like this masculine energy, I feel like, to be structured, to work really hard, to do all these things, to prove yourself, you know, and society really pushes that on women too now.
Yeah. It would be a different story if you felt comfortable with it. I think there's some masculine women out there that I know that they're good. They're kind of
they're kind of killing it.
Well,
Boss
yeah,
bitches,
they're just out there they're one of those queens out there running their show and doing everything independently, and great for them, because the world is rewarding of it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you're reaping rewards for that.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people who's a little more on the sensitive side, and not to say, you don't have to be a woman to be sensitive. You could be a man and have that sensitivity as well, or whichever gender you want to be. It's almost that way of, okay, how do I put myself in kind of first? How do I put myself first in this
Right.
case and ask for the help I so desperately need? Because ultimately I was born this way, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I think about those days where I'm a little more on the sensitive side and I really just want to talk to a friend and I
Yeah.
don't call them. And I'm like, why didn't I do that? I could have
Right.
easily called you. I
Yeah,
could have easily
literally.
called any of my
And I
other
would have
friends.
listened.
You would have
Yeah.
listened to me. And I know
Yeah.
I feared the burden of it
Yeah.
that on you, but you, I would do the same exact thing for
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. That's, I think, like, the most important part is that, like, if you're asking people for help, like, asking people who will return the favor,
Yeah, right.
because people who, like, aren't coming from, like, that, like, really, like, loving place of wanting to help you out in return, they're gonna energetically make you feel like you're a burden,
Right. They would
And
be, they they have no, if there's nothing for, I guess, in a way, if you could see them being just like, they're just that type of person, they're just giving and they don't expect anything in return, that's great. But if you also notice that that person is is more or less like gonna maybe even make fun of you a little bit for asking for help, like, save that energy for someone who really does care.
right, right,
You don't need to put yourself in a mental state of mind where it's just like it's not good for you.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so finding those people who will return the favor,
Yeah.
And yeah, who are there to help you, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. The often it's my like family, my immediate family.
Yeah.
It helps me a lot with some chaotic thing that happened, or they're just there for me. But I do have a good group of friends as well that have been there, and I'm continually making more people who making more new friends as like the years go on in my life. Like I met you like 2 years ago, I think,
Yeah.
and like I can tell you anything, and
Yeah.
it's not. I know you're not going to lord it over me. It's not
Right.
going to be a problem, and
Right.
you'll tell me if I push. Like if I'm, it's not the day. You'll say it. Like it's.
Oh, for sure.
You're gonna tell me, and because I have that trust in you, like that. Okay, it's not gonna end up being a big deal. I think in return, like, that just makes me, like, if you were to ever call me at all for anything, it'd be like, oh, yep, I say this all the time to Lily. I'm like, girl, if you just want someone to sit there and cry, like, listen to you cry, like, I'm
Yeah.
your girl, because I think we need that. I think, I haven't ever actually done that. Like, I have cried alone, and I'm thinking about this a little bit. I'm like, I could have called Lily when that was happening.
Always.
Or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just have that relationship. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you all is like, find that for yourself. Find that person
Yeah.
for you who makes you feel confident. And
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like the right people are gonna make asking for help, like, feel okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like, I feel like asking for help can feel like such a chore, but the right people are gonna make you feel really, like, supported and validated
Yes.
in needing help. They're gonna, like, jump to it. They're gonna be there no matter what. They're gonna, like, do what they gotta do. Because we gotta support the people we care about and the people we love, and
That's true.
and then yeah, like, returning the favor and having that open energy of, like, helping others is gonna, I feel like, create that energy back at you when you really need help. And I feel like that's, like, this karmic energy that we're in. Like, if people are asking you for help, like, and you're not, like, being open and putting yourself out there, and, like, of course not stretching yourself.
Right.
We don't want to stretch ourselves thin, but if you're, like, closing yourself off to all these people who maybe need your help, then, you're, like, you're closing yourself off when you need help as well.
Absolutely.
And like,
how do you treat people when they ask for help
right,
too? I think
right.
it's like you said, it's different if they said like, oh, could you like watch my kid for me for 5 days while me and my husband go on this tropical vacation and I'm not paying you. That's gonna be a lot.
Right.
That's a big difference.
For sure.
But it's like, well, actually, I don't know. It depends on the person, but it's like that's sometimes maybe you have kids and they have kids and then you do a trade-off there. But I don't know. It's reciprocal energy, and like you said, like, so I recently got this book. It's called the Bhagavad Gita. It's a Hindu book. I don't know what religion I am necessarily, but I've been kind of studying all religions in a way.
Yeah.
And when I first got this book, the person said, okay, in order to get this book, you do have to at least exchange $1 in a donation format, so it's an even exchange. And I was like, that makes complete sense, because that's energy. Money's energy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's like, I don't know, that didn't have anything to do with helping anybody, but yeah, it's like, helping people is an exchange of energy, I suppose.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of the most beautiful forms of it, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and helping others should make us feel good, you know? It should fill our cup. And if it doesn't, then maybe we need to, like, step back and ask ourselves why, you know?
Yeah.
But ideally, like, helping other people should be a good thing.
Yeah.
Always. And
Kira and I, every Christmas, we help out at the toy drive in town, or we go to, so hopefully she doesn't mind if I say her name. One day we'll have her on the podcast, but it'll be good.
That'd be lovely.
Anyway, her and I go and do this toy drive. We just go and volunteer for like 8 hours in the day. Usually it's a Friday, and then we'll essentially just hand out toys to kids and stuff. And
it's gotta feel so good.
It feels so good, because it's like you could either donate through money, or you could donate like gently used toys, or you can donate whatever, like your time and energy to get the toys out to the kids. And it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like seeing first of all, the parents are so friendly, they're so kind, and they're just so grateful for it. And then the kids on the other side, it's like they're jumping for joy, because, you know, that's maybe like the toy they're getting for the year for Christmas. So it just brings joy to my heart to see everybody giving, and it's just like a room full of love, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you're not getting anything back from that, like materially, you know, but like energetically, you know, you feel good. You know, you feel fulfilled, and like you're surrounded by love, and I think that's like there's a lot of love in helping people.
It's what a cool thing is to be able to experience love, especially because I think it's to be loved and to love is such a wonderful gift. It's like always loving. And I think about those people who, you know, they're alone for, you know, I remember when COVID-19 was around and the people were alone in their apartments for holidays and etc. It was just like, it was a lonely time, and they didn't feel the love, and a lot of people were needing to do like that's like a heightened time of therapy, actually, because people were just in such need for that connection. And I think by proxy of helping someone, you're only forming more of a connection with that person.
Right.
Because there's more of like, okay, you're not gonna screw me over if times are really going rough for me. Like, and I saw this like post online. There, I see people occasionally do like the GoFundMe page, and I always think about how, you know, it's like when people really give to those GoFundMe pages, it's like they didn't have to do that. And often people go anonymous.
Yeah.
When they donate those things, because it's not about the name or recognition.
Yeah.
It's truly about just it's truly just about fulfilling that person's needs. And unfortunately, yeah, more and more GoFundMe pages are happening because the economy and there is government help, but it's not the most as it could be and stuff. I don't want to trash too much on the government here, but there's a lot of people in need for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's just, and not other countries are like this, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
we're needing to help each other more and more. If anything, it's building that rapport with others, and TikTok especially, I do know, more and more people are bringing that awareness to the forefront of, hey, you know, especially what's happening across the seas.
Yeah.
In Gaza. It's like, yeah, it really humbles us, I think, to, I don't want to talk the whole time. I apologize, Lily.
No, you're okay.
I'm a talker. I apologize.
You're okay.
But yeah, just the whole Gaza situation. It's just like, it makes you think, like, where's the humanity there? Like, it just makes me sad to think about it, because it's like it feels like there's almost so little that we can do, and there's just not that much energy to one person can give to make it all better, and unfortunately it's the few that made decisions that caused this whole thing to happen, and clearly it went overboard.
And we're not there, and we can't even like see the experience they're having, you know. But like, we can still feel it. Like, I can still feel it, even though like I'm literally not there as a human being, and I don't even know what it really looks like down there, and I couldn't even fathom in my head, you know. But like, we can still feel that right here in our heart space, and it's terrible. It's just, it's awful, and like, that's the thing. It's like all we can do is like hope and pray, you know, and just like send love in that sense, and it doesn't feel like enough. It doesn't, because there is no humanity in it.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to like kind of circle back around to like that whole GoFundMe thing a little circle around. And like, I knew this family who just got in a really terrible car accident. And it was a family of 4, and they lost their father. And both kids are in the hospital. One of the kids has like a shattered pelvis, like just an extremely bad car crash. Wasn't even their fault, got hit by a drunk driver, like terrible happening, right? And people started to GoFundMe for them, and they've raised almost like $100,000 because from this accident. And like, that money does not bring back like this life that was lost. It does not bring back like, you know, like much really, because like losing your husband, losing your father, it's got to be like one of the biggest one of the most horrible things ever, you know. I couldn't imagine losing my dad, you know.
Absolutely.
Especially in that way. And but like, all these like anonymous donors, people who don't even know this family, are just like giving them money. And that's the thing, it's like, without this GoFundMe, the government was not going to set them up for success. The government was about to drown this family in medical bills. You know, this family that just lost like their main source of income, right? The dad of the house. And the government was just about to, like, completely swamp them. But, you know, they had to have, like, a helicopter rescue. Like, that was going to be so much money on this family, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, the government, like, here we are dissing on the government again, but they're also, like, the ones out there, like, trying to, they're also the ones out there not doing anything about this whole Gaza thing either, right? And they're just, like, gonna drown this family in medical bills when they've just lost everything, you know? And if it wasn't for the people coming together and helping this family, they would have been screwed because the government wasn't gonna do anything for them.
Yeah, I do know that the government is doing a little bit for the Gaza circumstances, but it's difficult because obviously, you know, we definitely don't use the government funding
Right.
in the most, you know, productive of ways. I don't know. I do know that, like, so I have people in my family who work for the government, and they, like, you know, I appreciate that they have jobs because that's good to, I mean, this is happening because of, you know, a bunch of family members have government jobs and stuff, but it does sometimes make me think about, like, you know, how much funding goes where and what. I'm not an expert in any means. I have no idea. I don't know how much is going into the Gaza thing. Like, I'll just say it out loud, I'm not as educated in that front. Maybe I need to be. But I do know in terms of other things, like, there's a lot of circumstances where it feels like, when I used to be a teacher, for example, like, teachers' pay is so low, and
and they're literally like
they're helping
fueling
the
future generations,
they're making the future better for everybody, and I think about that sometimes too, about that support for teachers, and it just feels like I think about it, I'm like, where does this money go? It makes me wonder, but yeah, absolutely, for that GoFundMe for that individual who passed away and his family, and I think that even more so now, more than ever, we need to be helping each other and supporting one another.
Always.
And giving back to where we can. So if you see a GoFundMe and you do have a few extra dollars, giving to that, if you know them or if you don't know them, I mean, sometimes it's about supporting people and trying not to also judge people who are in worse circumstances than you, because you don't know their story.
Right.
And I certainly don't know everyone's story out there. They could be worse or better off. I have no idea, but it's just making me think about that a little bit. So, I just want to send some love out to you all.
Always.
And to you as well, Lily, for all the things you do to help me, and thank you to supporters out there, and
literally
everybody.
We're all here for each other.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, and maybe we can even, I don't know, does that GoFundMe need more money, do you think?
Probably.
We could link the GoFundMe below.
Yeah, let me find that.
Okay, we'll link the GoFundMe page below
that'd be so sweet.
If you want to give back to those people, those lovely people who lost their father. So, all right.
That's so sweet. We'll do that.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Anyways,
love you guys.
Love you. See you later.
Have a beautiful evening, beautiful day,
You too.
beautiful morning, whenever you're listening, I guess.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.